Maternal and perinatal services is we're still in our toddler stages. We're still in our toddler stages, right? So we are now roughly like 3.5 years old. We started, I would say we officially launched in March of 2021. And when we started, we were, and I'm saying we, but it's really me. But we started actually just doing individual counseling services with moms that were experiencing either perinatal or postpartum mood and anxiety disorders. And then it kind of also transitioned to incorporating individual childbirth education. And just throughout, I would say probably the last couple of years, I think not that I think, I know it has made that switch. So instead of it being more of individual childbirth, I'm doing now group childbirth education classes. And so that is, I'm roughly doing classes, at least for the last couple of years, I do like 5 classes a year, so every other month-ish. And incorporating childbirth, I'm doing breastfeeding education. And then I'm also still touching on the postpartum, perinatal mood and anxiety disorders. Just so that number one, that they're aware, but also a part of that, I also screen all of my moms that are enrolled in my childbirth class. I screen them for depression upon them starting childbirth class. And even if it's just they're with me for 3 weeks, I at least want to know so that I can either make sure that I'm providing services and or that I am referring them out for services if needed. Mainly, I would say just the lack of knowledge. I am a component of education and making sure that everyone has a full understanding of number one, what's happening. And that I would say even originated from, I had a client one time that had already delivered, or she had just delivered her baby, and I was just doing follow up. And she made the statement to me of, oh, I was in labor. They were telling me to push, but I didn't know where to push from. Like, what am I pushing? And that was like that aha moment of sometimes women just don't know. I think the TV, social media, it's kind of like, okay, you get pregnant and you have your gender reveal, you have your baby shower, you go to the hospital and you have your baby. But it's so much that happens in between that time. So that lack of knowledge as to what it takes for you to go from being pregnant to actually pushing out your baby is a lot. And with that, I took childbirth when I had my oldest son, and it was like $150, $200. And so with women that are needing this education and this information before going into labor, the barrier is the cost. So if I'm talking to a mom that is low in income or, generally fits that vulnerable population, would they rather pay their rent or pay their utility bills, or would you pay for a childbirth education class? And if we talk about, the needs perspective, they're going to go with what they're needing, which is lights, utilities, whatever the case might be. And so the education side falls on the back end, or it's on the job training while you're in labor. Now you're learning as to, what goes on. And so just that barrier of even, and I would even extend that to not even knowing that these services are available to them. Yes, I think that's why I love what I do. I love the maternal and perinatal world just because of sometimes it really builds long-lasting relationships. So I've cut umbilical cords for clients, which is like an amazing, because that's like one thing that you will never forget. Who cut your baby's umbilical cord? But one of the things I think that really touched my heart, specifically, is I had a client one time. She actually was probably within my first year of providing childbirth education. So she took my class, and ultimately she ended up wanting me to be her doula. So I was like, oh yeah, sure. So went with her. Well, I was with her during her time of labor. So I provided childbirth education, and then I was with her during her labor. And while I was with her during her labor, she had other family members that were there, that came in and kind of left. And so I remember seeing faces, but I just, I'm here to do my job. Well, some months afterwards, I got, I think I was promoting another childbirth class, and someone reached out to me and was like, hey, I was at the hospital with my relative, and you were there with her, and the care that you gave to her was like really important to me. And so I want to take your class, and I also want you to be my doula. So it's now literally a family thing. So I've gone to birthday parties for both of those babies who have now turned 1 and 2. And it's when I see them in public, it is, again, big hugs and smiles, because just that relationship that sometimes people take for granted. And even though sometimes I'm just sitting in the back and allowing the family to kind of be their support, but just still knowing that that value aspect of the role that, not necessarily just I play, but the role that probably all doulas play in the lives of their patients. And so just to see that family lineage kind of go on is like so heartwarming for me. So yeah. A way that people can, I love volunteers. So with my childbirth education class, I have sometimes interns, or sometimes I just have simply volunteers that just want to come and help set up. But I would probably say the main thing is, of course, my childbirth classes are offered at no cost to clients. But one of the things that I think that makes my organization or childbirth specific for my population is, number one, I'm feeding you because I'm dealing with pregnant women. And so I'm feeding you every class. And this is not just, oh, we're eating some chips and some cold vegetables. We are getting Olive Garden. We are getting Sunnies. We are getting some good, nutritious meals, right? To kind of guide them through, to kind of keep them coming as well. As well as I also try to leave them with something to go home with. So if it's diapers, if it's wipes, something of the sort, so that it's something that you are, again, something tangible that you're taking away. So you're taking away the knowledge, but then you're also taking something that's going to be valuable to you. And then the third thing that I also incorporate in my class is I have a photographer that comes out. So, with my photographer that comes out, I like to capture moments, right? So, especially for women that are, of course, pregnant, and you're talking about a baby book, or people like to, what's the thing called? Scrapbook. So I like to have my photographer to take pictures while we're doing activities that we're hands on, especially if they have their partner with them or their mom, or whoever it might be. I like to capture those moments, and I send them the pictures so that they can use them however that they want. And all of those things, of course, come with money. So just donating would really help in supporting just that cause, because of course it's not going to anything but the services and the clients themselves. So that's the main thing. I'm definitely now to the point of sponsorships, donations, just so that I can kind of keep this going.